One, two, one, two, three.
7, 8. Hands up, baby, hands up. Give me your heart, give me your heart, give me hands up. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all having a spectacular end of December. We are getting very close. I think it's the 26th. 26th. So we are back again for another story time. So today's story is going to be my craziest audition experience. Now, this was a very hard thing to think about because there have been many. If you are a female actress who is auditioning at the crazy ECCs or the open calls, you know probably every audition we go to is wild in its own form. But so I picked one just because it was a wild day for me. Also, the experience was also pretty wild too. So we're going to talk about my craziest audition experience. Before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe. It'll really support my channel. Let's get into it. Okay, so wow, 5 years ago, I think this was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was auditioning for the non-equity tour of Elf the Musical. And I had to go back and think about it. So I think I went to an open call, got a call back, we did the dance call, got another call back. You know, there's a lot of rounds when they're doing a tour because they have to sort of fit and see who's gonna cover, who's gonna do this, who's gonna do that. So there were a lot of moving parts to that audition. But we come to the last day, final callback, right? They were like, this is your final callback. We go to Ripley Greer, the regular Ripley Greer. We were on the 17th floor. We get there. Actually, let me backtrack. The night before, I'm prepping, I'm singing. For the non-union tour, I think all the females, they have you sing Never Fall in Love with an Elf. Never fall in love with an elf. So they have you sing that song because they want to see who's going to cover Jovi or the mother. So I'm practicing the night before, and I feel great. Practice, read my lines, sang my song, practiced the dance. I wake up in the morning, no voice. Gone. And not just gone, that's what I sounded like. No voice. Panic, obviously. And then I was like, you know what? They teach you the one rule when you walk into the room, don't tell them that you're sick because you're going to start singing and they're going to, excuse me, don't tell them that you're sick because you'll start singing and they're going to know that you're sick, right? So you don't want to be like, oh, I'm sick. So we go in, I do the dance call, I think it's 10 a.m. We do the one round of dancing for the ladies. Then they're like, great, thank you so much. We're going to have so-and-so stick around. Probably at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Come back, we're going to dance, and then we'll sing and read. And I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I am performing on NBC's Red Nose Day at Rockefeller Center. If you guys don't know what it is, they did a big 24-hour dance-a-thon. And I was scheduled to do a big tap number, I think at 2 o'clock. We were on it to doing it, and then I was done, and I was like, is there any way I can come back and dance with the boys? And they were like, you know what? We're going to be here till 3. Go do your thing and come back, and we'll see you when you get back. And I was like, okay. So, took all my stuff from Ripley, sprinted to Rockefeller Center. Now, Rockefeller Center is pretty far. You have to go up to 47th and to 6th or 5th Avenue. It's very far. And I ran because there's no train that gets over there that would make it worth your while to get on the train. My big bag, because I had my performing stuff and I had my audition stuff, I ran to Rockefeller Center. We did our number. And then they were like, okay, stick around to dance with Nick Cannon. And I was like, no, I gotta go. I have to go back to my audition. Ran back to my audition. And when I say ran, you guys, I ran. I get back to Ripley, everybody's gone. There's one person in the room singing. Nobody's there. I knocked on the door so that the monitor came out and I was like, hey, Emily Phillips, I just finished performing. I'm back. Is there any way that I can sing or do my stuff for them? And they were like, let me go talk to them for 1 second. He goes in the room, waiting, sweating, dripping. I don't look cute. I look crazy. He comes back out and he's like, oh yeah, great. So just come in. We added on to the combo. So they're just going to teach you what we added on. You'll just do it by yourself and then you'll sing and read by yourself. And I was like, okay, put on my stuff. I go in the room. And if you guys know, final callback means full team. Director, musical director, producers, choreographer, assistant choreographer, stage manager. It's everybody in the room, right? So there were 12 people in the room. I go in and they're like, okay, here's what we added on. So they're teaching me, right? And so they tell you sometimes when you audition that you have to be aware because people are watching you learn. Like that's part of the audition experience. So I was like, Emily, you've got to be on. You've got to be like game to like learn and do whatever they do in the moment. So she was like, okay, great. We're going to do a double turn here and a triple turn there. And then, right, you've got your back handspring, right? Your standing back handspring. And I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. So they teach it to me and they're like, okay, well, just do it like 2 or 3 times in a row. Now, I don't know if you know, but dancing a combo at audition sort of like anxiety level is taxing. Like you're really tired after one go because you're giving it all you can. Whereas like if you're in the show, you know how to sort of pace yourself throughout the whole show. So I gave it my first one and they were like, great, can you do this and this and this? And then great, let's go again. I did it 3 times. I did my standing back handspring like 2 or 3 times and I nailed it. Like I was like serving all by myself in front of the entire creative team. Then they were like, great, can you do the sides and sing? Let's backtrack. I had no chords, like literally had no chords. And I was running around New York City. So, didn't say anything. The piano starts to play and I'm like, the holidays will seem bittersweet. You're all alone in bed. Slide. Like nothing was coming out. And they all were just like, I finished the song. Now I was on pitch, right? I was on pitch, but there was no phonation in my chords. Like there was nothing happening. It was just breath and air. And Sam Scalamoni looks at me and he was like, so you lost your voice and you're sick? And I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I woke up and I literally had nothing. And he was like, okay, fine. And then they had me read and that was it. They were like, thank you so much. And I was like, thank you for letting me come back and finish my audition. And they were like, you're welcome. Number 1 tip, always thank people if they make an accommodation for you in your schedule. And then that was it. And then I didn't hear anything for weeks. And I was like, well, I mean, it makes sense. I sort of like ruined their schedule and they had to like make extra time for me, da 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 da. Lo and behold, now this was pre-agent, y'all. I did this all without an agent. I get a phone call. Congratulations, you booked the non-equity tour of Elf the Musical Ensemble. And I was kind of both ways. I thought I nailed the audition to the best that I could that day, right? Like obviously I would have wanted my singing capabilities to be much better, but it wasn't gonna happen and there was no excuse. I just literally had no voice. But I didn't say anything and I went in and I acted the scene, right? Like I acted the song. So I wouldn't say I did my ultimate best because I didn't have my voice, but my dancing I nailed. On the other hand, I was like kind of shocked that after that whole wild, crazy day that I booked it. And that's what I'm saying. When things go wild and crazy, like, people tend to book. Like, the craziest audition stories are like, I didn't have a voice. I missed the audition. I went to an audition. I asked if they could see me and they saw me. You know, it's just like, I think it's all about timing and like what the universe is saying. And it was just wild and crazy. And it was the best time. We toured. We were mostly on the West Coast. I made amazing friends. I've worked with I've worked with Sam Scalamoni now 3 times. I did the equity tour of Elf, and then we also did Beauty and the Beast at Algonquin. And it was just wild and crazy, and I couldn't have asked for a better, like, sort of like audition story, because audition stories are the best. Yeah, so that's my, I would say, craziest audition story from like the night before, day of, to getting the role. Obviously, there have been like crazy auditions where they make you sing and harmonize and you don't know the song, or they make you do things that you're not good at, or they ask you to like improvise. You know, it's like you just never know what the table's gonna ask you, so you always have to just sort of like be prepared and like gung-ho and go with the flow. But that's my craziest audition story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about auditioning, about anything related to theater or not theater, leave a comment below and I will make a video about it. Also, please don't forget to subscribe because it'll really support my channel. The puppies are chewing and having a grand old time underneath me. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I have some elf pictures, so I'll do a little flash mob of like some of my elf pictures, but we will see you guys in the next video.
We go together.